Yo, people, what is good? Welcome back to my channel. Just waiting on Tosin to join. I think he said he's stuck in traffic, so I tried to wait as long as possible. But I just thought, you know what? Let's just start this video, man. And when he joins, innit? Listen, this is gonna be hopefully a new show that we can actually maintain over the course of the season. So I just wanted to trial it out today, and to be honest, no better game to actually focus on than the North London derby. But I just want it noted that the show won't be exclusive to just Tottenham and Arsenal. Ideally, of course, Tottenham and Arsenal results will be a main talking point, but the plan and the idea is to try and branch out, talk about other teams, right? Because we watch other matches, we watch other games, we have opinions on other managers, other players, etc., etc. So I'll wait for him to join. But whilst I wait for him to join, I just want to rehash uh, yesterday, my feelings yesterday, and firstly, big up to all of you lot for watching the post match reaction. I literally just did that one on a whim. Um, and yeah, man, the feedback, the views. I mean, a lot of people are trying to dunk on me, but nevertheless, I'm just happy that people are watching my opinion on football. I'd like to think that even whilst I'm angry, I can be coherent. And a lot of people who have watched my clips of the big six, right? People need to understand when I'm shouting, when I'm angry, it is because I care about this team and I care that we are not competing the way I want us to compete in the game. But I also need people to understand that being rattled does not mean I'm talking gibberish, right? I'm seeing clips floating about of me where I'm trying to reason with man, shouting, of course, but I'm trying to reason with man to tell them, yo, like what you're saying, it's not true, it doesn't make sense. But I'm sure we'll get into that. And in the meantime, let me just introduce Tosin because he's just joined now. Two secs, two secs. What's up? Who you saying?
I'm good. How are you?
I think you know how I am, to be honest. But um, yeah, thanks for joining the stream.
Ah,
Um,
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
what?
I would not miss a stream like this for the world.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, to be honest, I've given the viewers a little glimpse of hopefully what's to come over the next couple of weeks, months, but I'll let you get everything you want to get off your chest. And just for those watching as well, please make sure you smash the like button. Please make sure you subscribe to not just my channel but Tosin's channel as well. That's tagged in the YouTube video as well. Fleet footed. The link is in the description, and the actual channel link is in the title. So you literally just click and hit the subscribe button as well, right? So, Tosin, let's talk, man, because obviously yesterday was a good day for you. First and foremost, I'm assuming because I have not watched your full post match reaction, but just early chat. Did the match go the way you expected the match would go?
Absolutely, it did. Um, yeah, I expected it. And to be honest, I don't really want to dunk on you too much. I'm not even trying. This is not a backhanded what's the word? Like a backhanded insult. Like I'm not gonna dunk on you because it's not really that deep to beat Spurs anymore, in my opinion. Um, what's this? Three in a row at White Hart Lane. Um, yeah, this is kind of embarrassing. There's teams like Everton I know that we kind of struggle to get three away wins in a row from time to time, but to do that, like our fiercest rivals, which I don't think you are anymore. Um, yeah,
So who
so I
is
just kept that out
if we're not
there.
your fiercest rivals, who is?
Sorry.
If we're not your fiercest rivals, who is?
In terms of like historically, like there's been clashes, but right now, in terms of competition wise, you're not. Our fiercest rivals are Man City because they've been our fiercest rivals going by league standards of the past 2 seasons. So yeah, so I think if we're going by like just popular culture, or maybe if I go by Spurs fans, some Spurs fans, maybe not necessarily yours delusions, then yeah, we are fierce rivals, right? I mean, we hate each other, but we're not rivals. Rivals go at it for like You know, they're both trying to win the same things. That's not really Arsenal and Tottenham. It was 3 seasons ago. When we
So in the
picked us to
space of 3 years, in the space of 3 years, we're no longer rivals. That's what you're saying. That's
yeah, we've
ridiculous.
kind of like no, it's true though. Like it's true. Right now, you're not really our rivals. That's like me saying Everton and Liverpool are rivals. They're not. They're just two teams that hate each other, but they are absolutely not rivals. No way. They
Everton
ain't
are
going for the
fighting.
same thing.
Everton are fighting for Premier League
Yeah,
survival.
I'm not.
Whilst
Listen, I'm not saying Spurs are Everton. I'm just saying, like you right now, you're going your main rivals, and I'm not even being disrespectful. Your main rivals are the Villas, the Newcastles, the Man United. They're who you should be focusing on, right? Arsenal don't really need to focus on you. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm actually not even trying to take the Mickey here. I'm just being sensible. So, and I'm using that as context for my response to your question. So I expected the win. So I completely expected it to play out just as it did. I knew you'd play well. We knew you'd have this offensive lineup. We knew you'd start Kulusevski and Madison in midfield because he did it against Everton, and what he wants to do is overwhelm the opposition. We knew Andrew would do all of that, and we're thinking, okay, cool. Well, we've got no Erdegaard, we've got no Rice, we've got no Marino. We don't need to come here and bop you guys off your pitch. Your fans are going to be on your supporting you. We don't need to do this. All we need to do is be the better team, which we are. Be compact. Come to White Hart Lane. Defend well. You know what they're going to do. Come here, do exactly what you did last season, and get your result. Doesn't matter how well you play. You will get your opening. You will get your opportunity, whether it's a set piece, whether it's playing in behind that high line. You will get your chance, and we got ours and we took it. So yeah,
okay, okay. I mean, I don't agree with the first part, the rivals chat, but I understand where you're coming from, and I can only look at my club in disappointment at the gap that's formed over the last 3 years. Because 3 years ago, you wouldn't have been in any sort of position to talk about this whole.
facts. I
We're not
wouldn't have said.
close rivals.
I wouldn't
So
have said that. Yeah, because 3 years ago, City were not our rivals. You were for sure.
okay, well, to be honest, I guess the first agenda point I actually wanted to talk about was this: like, how did the game go from both perspectives? And I think I actually find it difficult to disagree with your assessment of the game. I really do. I find it difficult to disagree with your assessment of the game. And it was the very thing that was I was cautious against, right? Because, and it's not exclusive to Arsenal, because I don't think you guys did anything special. If I'm being honest, like I
No,
really
we didn't. We didn't.
don't think you guys did anything special. But I think what is more concerning is, in such a game of this magnitude, the game, we already know, like, Arteta already knew what would guarantee 3 points. That's what is alarming to me. Like, he knew what would literally, like, what's the blueprint to beating this team, and we did nothing of the sort to completely throw him off, completely sort of make him change the way he wants to set up from the initial viewpoint of how he actually wanted to approach the game. And I think that's the most concerning thing for me. Like you say, we played well. I think we played well in spells. I think we played well in spells, but for me, I don't think it's good enough to say you played well when you have line share possession, you're the home side, you have 15 attempts in the game, and you don't create many meaningful opportunities. I mean, if I look at the opportunities in open play, like, we did well to manufacture good situations. I feel like the Destiny one where he could have shot, the Solanke one where we've pressed Ben White, and we forced him into an error, and Solanke's got the goal to shoot at, but he doesn't shoot. He delays because he wants to chop onto his left foot. And then I look at the Kulusevski moment in the first half, the first 2 minutes, where it was a basic, comfortable save for Raya, expected save. And then I'm looking at the cross. I think it was was it Madison who delivered the cross, or was it Kulusevski? Someone delivered a cross that Raya made a good save to. I'm looking at that and I'm like, beyond that, what chances did we actually create? Like, what chances did we create? And I think it's just it's hard, and I want to get your perspective on this, because I think with Spurs right now, it's quite volatile, right? You have people who are already done with Ange Postecoglou. You have people who are in the middle, like they can see the positives he brings, but can also see the drawbacks. Like they want to keep the faith with him. They're keeping the faith with him, but they can see his flaws. And then you've got the people who are just completely ignorant to everything that's going on with the manager. And we're going to talk on both managers later on after we touch on the players. But outside looking in, from your perspective, where do you see Spurs heading this season?
Honestly, you remind me of what Arsenal used to be. And I'm not talking Arteta Arsenal, I'm talking Wenger Arsenal. In the years where you actually kind of came in the ascendancy and were consistently finishing above us. You remind us of that Arsenal. Maybe a cheeky FA Cup is in there for you if you have a good run or you avoid the right type of teams, but I don't really see anything meaningful in terms of league ambitions. You could probably get the Champions League. I think the thing you have going in favour for Spurs on the outside looking in is you actually could get the Champions League, because there's no way Villa are going to be as strong playing in Champions League. Man United are robbed. They're dead. They're not a good team. I think Spurs have a better manager than Man United. The setup is not as it's not amazing, Spurs, but it's not anywhere near as bad as United. So yeah, that's where I see you guys. Like maybe like fourth or fifth. I like the super chat. I would agree. Fourth or fifth, and maybe a cheeky Carabao Cup, or you could win the FA Cup. You never know. What European competition, or you're in Europa League, you could do a run there. I can't really see you winning Europa League, if I can be honest. So that's where I see Spurs on the outside looking in. I think for you guys, it's just your fans have to be humble. Just sober reality, you know. We saw a lot of crazy, maybe not from you, but I saw a lot of crazy.
What's your definition of crazy, though?
I'll tell you. So I saw crazy combined XIs.
Okay, so give me the different. Go and tell me.
So for example, I saw people putting in Porro over Ben White. I saw people putting in Romero over Gabriel. I saw people. And I saw people getting their jollies off. Oh yeah, combined XI. Oh, put Bentancur in there. Of course, Bentancur gets in there, right? But even
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does. Bentancur over Partey, really? Okay, great. There's no Rice. There's no Erdegaard. There's no Merino. But is Bentancur really better than Jorginho and Partey? Really? No, he's not. Right?
Maybe Jorginho at this stage of his career, but not Thomas Partey, and even Partey's
not Thomas Partey. So that's it. I mean, the rest I agree with. Fair enough. Son on the left, yeah, you'd have him. Goal machine, output. He's not the same winger he used to be. He's not as explosive. He's not that guy. But like in terms of goal threat inside forward, I'd rather have him. But then let's see what Sterling does, because Sterling on his day, if he gets cooking, he's a better player than Son, in my opinion. So that's what I saw was crazy. I thought like this is just stupid. So that's why I think your fans just need to be humble. It's just, and even like the whole Mickey van de Ven. Like if I look at Tottenham's team, the defense individually, all of their players are good. Romero is a good defender. Van de Ven is clearly a good talent. He's going to be sick. Destiny Udogie, he's going to be sick. Porro, he's a good right back, right? But collectively, this is a team that shipped over 60 goals last season. So if that's me, and I know that that's my team, I don't care how good they're playing individually. I have no right then to use any of those to chat to the best defense in the Premier League the past 2 seasons. I have zero right to start. Oh yeah, this is, and it's disrespectful. Spurs fans do it they've been doing this for the past 2 seasons, and they keep getting humbled. So I think just be humble about where you're at. Be humble about what aspirations you go for, and then that way, when you take these L's, it won't be as disastrous.
But do you not think, like you said, if you go through those players individually, they're good. And whilst those players do have their moments where they have a lapse in concentration or they aren't playing well, do you not think it's more concerning that we do have on the surface a good group of players, yet we're conceding these goals? And to your point as well, I'm going to be pedantic here, right? To be honest, whenever I say this, I get called, oh, your Arsenal apologies and stuff. But I've been saying for the last year and a half now, as good as our centre backs are, and I rate our centre backs, I think they're quality centre backs, but they're not elite. They're not elite centre backs. They're far off being elite. And I look at the Arsenal centre back pairing. I think they're closer. I think Saliba, in my opinion, is an elite centre back. And to be honest, I actually like. I'm going to say it. I think Gabriel's an elite centre back. I don't really understand. I don't really understand the hesitancy for people.
Just go at him because he's got the rash clanger. But cool, I'll take that.
Yeah, but even the clanger. But the point I'm making is like you can see like significant defensive prowess 90% of games that this guy plays. So I haven't and still don't subscribe to this whole let's get in Tottenham centre backs over Arsenal centre back stuff. Completely agree with that. And there was someone in my comments who was telling me, just saying, "Oh, did you agree?" Of course, I didn't agree. I don't agree because I go with what my eyes can see. Them men are betting us, but I think questions need to be asked on certain individuals, and I also think questions need to be asked on the manager in terms of why is it so easy for Arsenal to beat Tottenham? Why is it so easy for Arsenal to come to our ground with two starters missing, which I knew wouldn't make that much of a difference to your game plan because
we would have played that way even with Rice and
without them. So yeah, I think it's just there's just a lot of questions we need to actually get answered. But let's move on to the players now before we talk on the managers. Yeah. And I'm gonna flip this in reverse now because I wanted to get your point of view on which Arsenal players you think rose to the occasion. But I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna ask you which Tottenham players do you think did not deliver, and which Tottenham players do you think delivered? And I'm gonna do the same with Arsenal.
So Tottenham players that I thought did not deliver, and so basically, okay, cool. Players that didn't deliver.
Who was poor? Who was meaty? Who didn't rise?
Yeah, players that didn't deliver. Definitely James Maddison. I was disappointed in his performance. He was terrible.
Terrible, really?
Yeah, I mean, like in comparison to what he did to in comparison to the Maddison I saw at the Emirates last season, he was terrible. I expect if this is the 10, I'm expecting him, bro, make your influence felt. So to put into context, if Ødegaard played like that in a game against Spurs so he played against Spurs last season at home, and I thought he had a terrible game. I didn't really feel his personality on the match, right? I saw Matt, and that's where all the comments were. Oh, where was Ødegaard? All the unfair criticism. Oh, where was Ødegaard? He's missing this, that. He did have a bad game. Doesn't mean he's a bad player. Maddison, I expected more from him. I'm thinking, bro, I'm expecting you. Let me see what you're gonna do. Son, what are you gonna do? I'm expecting that. Kulusevski, who people were saying, yeah, he's good in the 10. I was expecting something from him. Didn't really see much.
He was okay,
but like I thought like I was confident of the win, but the only thing that I thought, okay, cool, maybe Spurs were going to do a thing like they did against Everton and just overwhelm us. I thought that midfield was going to be a hive of activity, and to be fair, you kind of pinned us the first. You pinned us the first few minutes, right? And there were loads of good patterns of play in the first half, but like I thought there'd be more killer. Maddison, I don't get it. I'm not seeing much killer from him. I saw a lot of killer passes, like I had a needle, all of that sort. I didn't see that. Now, of course, it's hard to do that against a team as good when we're compact as Arsenal, but still, I was disappointed. Didn't really see much from Son. And also a player, this may be like, you may hate on me for this, Udogie. I thought he was decent. I thought he was decent defensively, But offensively, I didn't really see much from him. I thought for sure there's going to be, man, bombing forward. I thought I'd see that, right? But I guess it shows that you guys are a bit afraid of us as well, because I'm sure probably in the back of his mind, he's probably remembering what happened last season when you guys committed lots of fullbacks forward and Saka has acres of space to run into. So yeah, I was disappointed. I thought I'd see a lot more from the fullbacks, Poro, offensively. I'm not saying that he had a bad game. I thought I'd see more in terms of, getting down. I didn't really see that as much, in my opinion. And the players that I thought played well, I know he got dunked on, but I thought Romero and Van der Ven, they had a good game. You can't really say that for Romero. You
But
can't
this
really
is the
say that
problem with Romero.
you can't really say that for America, because like you have a good game, but then you get dunked on like that. And it was
Exactly.
it wasn't even like it was an intricate set piece we played. It was just, bro, like you just you let Gabriel dunk on you, bro. So in fact, I'll say Van der Ven. I like Solanke. I was impressed. I thought he did well. He
Great.
kept. I thought, look, Saliba and Gabriel. We've seen even the likes of Haaland get munched up by these guys, and you'd think, was he playing last season? But the fact that Solanke made himself enough of a nuisance to trouble both of them, I thought Solanke, there's potential there with him, and I kind of saw. That's the only thing I didn't agree with Arsenal fans. Some people saying Havertz over Solanke, and absolutely not. I would rather play Solanke. Is going to give me more. He's going to get more goals. I was impressed by him. So yeah. Brennan Johnson was terrible. Terrible player. So that's what I'd say. I'd say the only players that come out with some sort of glory from that would be Van der Ven and Solanke.
Yeah, you know what? I've on the Madison points, I'll start off with him. I don't think he was terrible. Like, and if I compare his performance to like Odegaard at the Emirates, for instance, Odegaard was literally giving passes up. Like, I think he had something like when you see Odegaard with like a 68% pass completion, he only had like I think he had like 40 odd touches. Not really his influential best. Whereas I think in this game with Madison, more touches, more accurate passes, equal or more key passes, etc., etc. But I think the problem for me, and it was the same. And to be honest, I think he was better in this game than the same game that we played last year. The one last year, I thought he was the 3-2. I thought he was terrible.
Yeah, he was dead. He was worse.
I thought he was terrible in that game. This one, I thought he played a bit better. And whilst I'm going to get onto ways in which I think the manager could help, I just think with Madison in these games, we bought him to be, like you said, to have personality in these matches. Like, you can't be meaty. A meaty game for Madison in this fixture is basically a poor game. It's basically a poor game because there's no point in you getting all the touches, playing it safe. Arsenal are going to crowd the half spaces. Arsenal are going to make it difficult. They're going to make it congested in the central areas. But a player of his talent who can actually spin players. There was a move in the second half, I think, where the ball's coming to him and he's taking it on the half turn and he spun Jorginho and Jorginho's got a yellow card. Why didn't he commit Jorginho more? Why didn't he run at Partey, Jorginho? Like, come on,
exactly.
Someone step over this, that, and the third. Like, okay, the spaces aren't there for you to consistently thread the passes, but there's more things you can do to influence a game of football. And like you said, I think for a player of his talent, the influence that we expect just wasn't there. And it's ultimately a disappointing game. Ultimately a disappointing game for me. So by no means, I'm not here trying to defend, man. I know that we need more and expect more from James Maddison in these games, but I just want some balance. If I look at the Arsenal, I think with the other players you mentioned, I fully agree with your assessment on Romero. Fully agree. And I think with Destiny, we'll touch on this as well, because I do think the manager plays a part here. I thought he was good, but I think offensively, I think we're now in a position where we're seeing chinks to Ange's base way of playing in his use of these fullbacks. Like, you look at the first half, for instance, yesterday. I think it was a good bit of play from Kulusevski to set up a chance for Destiny. Good quick 1-2 on the left hand side. Destiny's in on goal, and it was a really good. I think it was Saliba who made a really good challenge when he's tried to pass it to Solanke. But you have to ask yourself the question: why is the left back in the box shaping up to shoot on his right foot when Son, our most dangerous finisher, is like 20 yards away from the goal. Maddison, our number 10, is about 25 yards away from the goal. You have to start asking questions about like how that dynamic is meant to work long term. But if I flip it on its head, and I agree with everything else you said about our players, I thought Solanke played well as well, in my opinion. If I flip it on its head and I look at Arsenal players, if I look at the players who did really well, I think the two centre backs were outstanding as per. I thought David Raya was good. I thought Timber was quality. I thought he was quality.
He's close to Gabriel for best player. He was fantastic. First 90 minutes he's completed since his ACL. Really? That's the first full 90s he's done since that injury last season. And the guy is just, and I keep people, we've not even seen, this is not even the best of Timber. He's a monster. He's such an intelligent player. He's not like the fastest or the biggest or the tallest, but he's just such an intelligent player. He's fantastic. Like, he's unreal. And the thing is, you're not even seeing him going forward. Him going forward is, oh man, I can't wait. This guy's too good. What a player, honestly.
Yeah, so expressions in the comments saying
how do I get my camera clear like that? I'm using the newest Mac as well.
Yeah, this is because I'm using a Sony. Big up expressions as well. Big up everyone who's actually in the comments and watching on the live as well. There's nearly 600. There's nearly 600 of you watching. Make sure you smash the like button, and again, please make sure you subscribe to both my channel and Tosin's channel as well. Big up his team as well, Fleet Footed. Give him the support. It's the same tag on Instagram, on YouTube as well. So yeah, just big him up. Yeah. So if I go back on Arsenal performances, I thought all of your defenders, bar Ben White, I thought they had strong games, and even Ben White, I thought he had a poor first half, but I don't think he had that bad a second half. But to be honest, on the flip side, I think he gave away the ball. He gave away the ball a couple of times in the first half, and then I think he got spun by Son in the first half as well. I'm not saying he had a bad game. I'm just saying he had a poor, in my opinion, he had a poor first half. I think in the second half he was better, but I also think he did get that protection from Saka. But I also think most importantly, he wasn't tested. I don't think Son ran at him enough. I think Son tried a little bit in the first half, but I don't think he ran at him enough, and because that's just not really his MO. He's not going to be the guy to just kill him. I thought Havertz was good. It pains me to say it because I don't rate him, but I thought Havertz was good. I thought Saka was poor, to be honest. I thought Saka was poor offensively, but defensively he did his bit, tracking Destiny's run every time. I thought Martinelli was all right as well. Like, I thought he was causing Pedro Porro problems in the first half. But I also think that that's also a symptom of Pedro Porro just not being strong enough. But thought he did well. But I don't think your midfield did well at all. I'll be honest. I don't think he did.
I think he did. He had a good game, and I think that's more down to the setup. I think we were happy to consider. That's the only. I mean, we're going to talk about managers, but I think that's down to the setup, and you have to factor in. This is Jorginho's first start this season, like his first minutes this season. Partey still looks like he's still trying to get fit. This is Trossard. This is since we bought Trossard. This is the first time since pre-season of last season that Trossard is playing in an 8. So what are you expecting?
Yeah, no. I just think whenever he starts for Arsenal, I don't think he's that good. I think it's quite clear he's an impact player, and that's okay. I think a lot of your fans push for him to start. He's an impact player. He's someone who comes off the bench and will win you a game of football, but he's not someone who I think should be starting. He's not got the pace to kill people out wide, like he used to at Brighton. And I think when he plays centrally as well in the midfield, I don't think he's got the creativity or the ability to actually to have the ebb and flow of the game run through him consistently. But he is a good player. He is a good
But he's an
player.
intelligent player, and when he got the opportunity
Yeah,
to,
of course.
he played good passes in behind for Martinelli.
He played one good pass in behind, and
But you could,
perfection.
yeah, but you could
Come
see
on,
him
man.
trying to do that though.
Agree. But I don't think he played that well. I thought Jorginho was terrible, but like you said,
Yeah, of
it's his
course.
first minutes.
I
Season.
don't expect
I
any
thought
less.
Thomas Partey. I thought Thomas Partey wasn't great, but again, I think when you set up that way and you have the wingers tucking in, you have Trossard and Havertz pressing in a two, and everything so narrow, I think it makes life easier for those central mids because they've got a bit more protection there, and there's less space for us to operate in. But in a nutshell, I think your players did what they needed to do. I think your defense stood up well, but I also think, for me, when I look at the big players in our team, like I know we talk on like the Brennan Johnsons, etc., etc. But when I look at the big players in our team, I expect more from Romero, right? You're culpable for that goal. I expect more from you. You're a vice captain. You listen when you look at the names that you mentioned, right, and the names that didn't play that well. 3 of them are vice captains, or one's our captain, 2 of them are vice captains. Romero and Madison. In these type of games, you have to be spotless. Honestly, like you have to be spotless. The margins are so fine that you can have a good game like Romero, and all it takes is one momentary lapse, one mistake, bang, it's done. And unfortunately, that will tar your performance. And unfortunately for him, it's been a poor start to the season. And if I look at the goals we're conceded, he's had a hand to play in all the goals he conceded. And you know how much I rate how much I rate Romero, but it's not good. It is not good. Madison, I actually thought he's had a good Madison. I think he's had a good start to the season, but I think the last 2 games are indicative of why some Spurs fans are frustrated with Madison, because on the surface, on paper, they're not bad performances, but when you compare it to the standard that you expect from James Maddison, just compare it to the 2 games prior, the Everton and the Leicester, you can clearly see that it's not the same. You're not knocking the same.
Yeah, the thing is, look at Mesut Ozil, right? What people used to criticize him and ask, oh yeah, he doesn't, you know, like he doesn't run around. He looks like he can't be bothered. But you give him the ball in a dangerous area, he's doing something. He's doing something. Like he could have the worst game, but when he gets the ball, he's doing something. And that's the thing about Madison. I just didn't see it. You can have all of these other metrics, but like what you're doing in the final third, which is kind of weird to say because he's actually meant to be. That's one of the things I respected about him. You know, like he's popping off a shot, he's beating a man, he's playing a good pass, he's getting something. So from when I see that not happening in high frequency, I think, okay, there's an issue.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think only he can shut the haters up because as I said, I don't think he's playing badly, but I think because of what you expect from James Maddison, he's just got to rise it. In my opinion, he's just got to rise it. I think with the Sun one, and we'll move on to the managers now. With the Sun one, I think Sun tried. He had a couple of key passes, but I also think Sun is 32 years old, and we're using Sun as a touchline winger in 2024, man. Like even at his best, he was never he didn't make his name at Tottenham because he was a touchline winger. Yeah, he could cook some players before, but he made his name because you don't even want to like take your eyes off this guy once because he's gonna make that outside to in run. He's gonna do you. You get him the ball at the edge of the area, left foot, right foot. He's langing it. You don't want to get in a foot race with this guy because he's gonna beat you for pace. He's always gonna look to like attack the space, try and get him behind. And it just annoys me now that at a stage where his physical qualities are deteriorating day by day, we're now expecting Son to do more of the things that he wasn't even doing at a frequent enough clip when he was younger. And this is what I want to talk about with the managers. And people are saying in the comments, "Are you Ange out?" I'm nowhere near Ange out. Honestly, I'm not. I think it's okay to talk about your manager's flaws without being Ange in or Ange out. He's a good manager, and I can recognize the positives for Spurs. I like the fact that Spurs want to approach games aggressively. I like the fact that we play a high line. I like the fact that we want to squeeze the opposition. We want to press. We want to keep possession, because you tell me, outside looking in, his style of play is more akin to the managers who are winning than the managers who are failing. Yes or no?
Yeah, it is. Except except his team is not built for the type of football he's playing. And
I think it's both. I think it's both, though. I think the
it's
team. Go on.
I think with him, he's a bit naive. He's quite naive
I
because
don't think he is naive, Tosin. I think
no,
he's
he
stubborn.
is.
He knows.
He's
No. I don't think he is naive. I think he's stubborn. He knows.
okay. That's
He,
what. Okay, maybe naive is the wrong word. I think I think it's borderline arrogance, if I can be
yeah,
honest. What I mean by
exactly.
naive is teams know what you're gonna do. Teams know what you're gonna do. You've been doing the same thing since January, bro. The league, like you came onto the scene, you were doing your thing. Teams figured you out by December, and you did not change once. You saw a crazy run, poor form, inconsistency. Villa fell off towards the end of the season, right? It didn't really take much for you guys to actually topple them, but you still managed to finish below them, right? Like I think it's just borderline arrogance from him. He's a good manager, but like he's arrogant in the way he set your team up. Doesn't play to your
Agree.
team's strengths as well. He's very, very arrogant, and I think he just needs to be a bit humble. Like it's all good and well, like sticking to your principles. Even the way he speaks in press conferences when people try and ask him questions, it's like, bro, like no one's trying to take the Mickey out of you. Sorry, but like we're all seeing the same football. Just be humble and change. So
100%. 100%. And I guess this is where we talk about both the managers, right? So obviously Arteta is Arteta, and I think we're going to bounce back and forth, right? Because I look at someone in Arteta who, you know me, 3-4 years ago, I didn't rate him. I thought this guy was going nowhere fast. But when you look at his evolution as a manager, right? When you look at what he's been able to do at Arsenal, okay, cool, he hasn't won a title. And I think in some certain circumstances that does warrant criticism when you compare him to certain names. But one thing you can't say about Arteta is he doesn't try absolutely everything to get his team the best result possible with whatever group of players he's given at this point in time. And I think it took him it took him a while to try and get to this point. But I think now he's at this point. This is a manager who does what it takes to win games. And you've just said it there now with Ange Postecoglou. I have no doubt that he has full belief that his way of playing, his principles, can get results, and have no doubt that he believes that. But there's a difference between believing and what you're actually seeing in reality. Right. And I think that's where it gets distorted. And his press conference yesterday, it made me so angry when he's talking about, I always win in my second year. Well, we've lost 7 of our last 11 games. We've lost 7 of our last 11 games. We haven't won a London derby since the Crystal Palace home game. Yeah, like our form in 2024 is quite frankly mid-table form. It's not pretty reading. It really isn't pretty reading. So the results are down. The performances aren't bad, but you're not winning games. It's not enough. Teams are still poking holes in your team. And I think the worst thing about it is, okay, cool. A manager has his set way of playing, his principles, his philosophy. When you buck a team who's counteracted your base way of playing, why do you then persist in continuing to do the same thing? Arteta, as an example, yesterday, he saw within the first 5 minutes, you lot were getting rushed on your left-hand side. And then all of a sudden, a quick word on the side, and all of a sudden, Saka's now tracking the runs that Dogi's making into the box, right? Ben White all of a sudden has more support. Arsenal are a bit more narrow. Why is it that a manager who's challenged for the Premier League title in the last 2 seasons and has actually won silverware in England can change, has the humility to change and respect a team that he finished, I don't even know how many points it was last year between us and Arsenal. Why is it that he can come to our ground observe the way we play, observe our strengths, observe our weaknesses, capitalize on our weaknesses, but Ange Postecoglou can't. Why?
It's just arrogance. He reminds me of Arsene Wenger before Wenger left. He had
So many people are telling me this, So many people are
one way
saying
of
this.
playing and would refuse to give up his philosophy, would refuse to change, and then before you know it, results go down the drain and he has to leave. Hopefully that doesn't happen with, well, actually, to be honest, I don't really care. That's more for you. Either way, if there's chaos at Spurs, I'm happy. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a frustrating one, right? Because, like you said, if I look at, and we'll keep it both Spurs and Arsenal centric, because if I look at Arteta, if I ask you a question, what do you think Arteta did well in that game? What will you tell me?
I liked his setup. I think one thing it's weird. I was saying it. Somehow Arteta, like people downplay, especially Arsenal fans, downplay what this guy's done. Like we are able to play like Atletico Madrid in some games. Like when would you ever hear this said about Arsenal? Like we are the team to go away to grounds like these and be results focused, not play focused. And it's not like he can't, it's not like we can't play. So that's what I liked about him. I liked his setup. I liked the fact that, look, he was happy to let you guys have the ball. I like that. I knew we would be compact. I knew it. I knew 100%. There's no look at the way we played against Villa. Yeah, granted, they had some chances, right? And Emery's tactical setup surprised us in the day, but I think he's just become an expert at setting us up to be very, very, very difficult to beat. And of course, Saliba and Gabriel help to that. But I thought Arteta, I liked how compact he made us. I like the fact as well that I like the fact that let's say after around 25 minutes, right? We instead of allowing us to be pinned back, we kind of saw, okay, wait, there could be some joy here. And then we started actually creating more. We started actually doing a lot more in terms of making the ball stick in your own half. And you could actually see that your players were shook. And if I think what I see that I like better about what Arteta did is that when even though we were under pressure, we didn't really give away clear-cut chances. We didn't really give away like Stonewall, like whereas last season we did. Last season when we won 3-2, like I can think of at least 3 to 4 like big chances Spurs should be scoring. I didn't really see that this game. Didn't see that at all. And you got to put that down to the manager, because that can only be the manager if we're coming here with a weakened team, right? And getting in my opinion, a much better result, much better performance than we did last season. That can only be the manager.
Unfortunately, I actually agree. As I said, I don't think what he did in his setup was anything special, but I also don't think that. I also think that because of the way we play and Ange's refusal to change, it makes it way too easy for teams to just predict how we're going to play, predict how the game is going to go, and then just set the necessary traps and game plans accordingly. And I think you mentioned something there which actually really resonates with me. You spoke about the fact that Arteta has got better at coaching your defensive setup, but he's also playing to the strengths of like elite defenders such as Saliba in your back line. If I look at Tottenham, I think it's the opposite. I think we've got, in my opinion, a good manager with good footballing principles, but has so many flaws in his approach, and he's putting one or more players in positions where they're not going to be their best selves.
Facts.
And then I also think as well, he's also hamstrung by some of the players that he's chosen to support. So I look at the attack, for instance. Yeah. What's the one thing that any team with sense does against Tottenham? Go compact, flood the midfield where they want their numerical advantage, because typically we want both our fullbacks in the middle plus the free midfield that we play, and sometimes the striker will drop in. We want to try and pen teams in and try and really win the game of football in that area of the pitch. But teams will just counteract that by just getting players to just follow our runners, follow the fullbacks in there, go man for man with their midfield. And you know what they're doing? They're saying, we dare you. We dare you to hurt us out wide. You ain't got the quality. We dare you to hurt us out wide. Whether it's Newcastle, whether it's Crystal Palace at home, which was a game we won 3-1, but we were trailing the game for a while. Whether it's Arsenal, both games this season and last season, right? It's the end result is the same. Some of the personnel that we have in attack, it's not good enough. You look at, we've spoken about Son. We know what Son is now at this stage of his career. He's a goal getter. He's not someone who's gonna kill his man. We said, I do the NSO pod, the New Spurs Order pod on Touchline. We said this at the start of last season. Before a ball was even kicked.
You should do 4-4.
Huh?
You should do 4-4-2 with Son. I think Son and Solanke up front. 4-4-2.
We should do 3-5-2. I would take 3-5-2, 4-4-2 or 3-5-2. I would do it. I just think I think Ange needs to quickly realize that until you buy like good or better wingers, you're going to be hamstrung by this system, because the guys that you're playing out wide, they're not good enough to deliver what you need in the 1v1 areas. Right?
Brennan Johnson got a lot of touches. He got a fair few touches, but he did nothing with it.
He does not. He does nothing with it usually. When he starts, he does nothing.
How much you pay for him again?
48 million. To be fair, he didn't. I wouldn't say he got loads of touches. He got like 26 touches. I wouldn't say
as in terms of he got opportunities to run,
openings in the final third.
He did. So maybe touches is the wrong word. He got chances, and Timber would get a good block, or like you never really got the like. I remember a chance where I think it's the second half, and Timber's like scrambling to get towards him, and he blazes it over, and you're thinking, bruv, like not even a shot on target, nothing, like bro, it's crazy. 48 million for him. I don't even. Is that a Levy signing or Ange signing? I can't. 48 million for him. 48, bruv.
It's mental.
Jason McAtee from Man City will get you more end product than Brennan Johnson. Facts. Is it Jason McAtee? The winger, he's good.
I just think it's a sad situation, because it's like we've got a manager who's unwilling to change our approach when teams counteract his base way of playing. So then then there's more emphasis on what the players can do as individuals off the cuff, and you've got the better players in games like yesterday, like Maddison and Romero, who don't deliver to the standard that we expect, and then you've got players that we need to fulfill certain roles in the team in the attack to unlock that defense that just don't have the quality. Watching Brennan Johnson, it's like watching a fish out of water, and it's not even just on Brennan Johnson. I don't even think he was awful yesterday, but you know what it is with Brennan Johnson? He's just a bad player in general. So even an average game for him is like, what are you actually offering us on this football pitch? And it's not even just him. It's not just him. We've spoken about Son. Son tried, but Son stinks. He stinks when it comes to giving his marker hell. He can't do it. He's not good enough to do it at this stage of his career. What he is good enough to do is score goals. We need to get him closer to goal. But I look at the options, right? In the summer, the mandate was clear. You need minimum of 2 starting caliber attackers. Last summer, or the summer before last, we needed about 3. We said, if with or without Kane leaving, you need 2 bad boys. Yeah, one to start on the right hand side, and either one to replace Kane up top, or one to help take the burden off Son. Someone who could actually play significant amount of games and push Son to the bench if need be, or push him into the front line or into the attack. We ended up signing Brennan Johnson for 48 million last summer, and then we followed that up with Werner on loan in January. This summer, we re-signed Werner on loan to play left wing. Same issues on the left, same issues on the right, and we signed a good talent in Odobert, a good talent Odegaard, but he's 19. He's 19 years old. Yeah, he's good. He's good for his age. He can run 1v1, but he's not gonna win us games of football. He's not gonna get pulling out assists every week.
That's big money, bro. Yes. Big money
It's
for
just,
someone his age. And is it Archie Gray as well? That's big money.
bro.
Big money, man.
40 million on Archie Gray.
Bergvall as well. How much was he?
Bergvall was like 9 million, like 8 point something million.
Okay. Not too bad.
But 40 million for Archie Gray, 8 point something million for Bergvall, 25 million plus 5 in add-ons for Odegaard. So let's just say 30 million. So that's close to 90 million that we've spent on 3 teenagers who they're good talents. Don't get me wrong. I think they're good talents, but we need players for the here and now because the here and now stinks.
If you guys were smart, man, like you would have gone for like a Ademola Lookman early in the window. If you pay Atalanta like 40 near the money you paid for my man, the winger, Brennan Johnson, you're getting him. Give him good wages, come play in London. We're gonna transfer. Yeah, I know he was linked with PSG, but that was late in the window. Bro, if you go in early for a guy like him, bro, he changes you completely. So yeah, so that's unfortunately sad. That's why I said what I said at the start. Like I'm not even mad. I just feel sorry for Spurs now. It's just sad.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm going to dissect it a lot more on the Big Six tonight, but I think it's a combination of things. I honestly, and what really frustrates me about Ange is like, what frustrates me about Tottenham, is I keep having to hope and pray that this attack can do something for us. Like Solanke looks good. He looks good. I think Son is still capable of scoring like 15 Premier League goals, but Son is the only killer in our team. Who's our 1v1 guy on either flank? Who's gonna take the
man's best 1v1 guy is Udogie.
So I look at the team, and there are some parts of the team that frustrates me so much, i.e. the attack, despite us having good players in other parts of the pitch. And then I think what's so frustrating with Ange Postecoglou is like no one's even asking you to scrap your principles. Like all we're saying is just minor tweaks that could elevate this team. If you're playing Son left wing, have him closer to Solanke. Have him trying to operate in the half spaces as well. Yeah. Have Destiny be the one that's giving you the width. Stretch the game.
Which is actually what I thought you'd do. I expected that. I thought so. I was surprised when I didn't see, because he didn't really venture much. I'm like, that's such an easy, like he's the perfect foil for Son. Easy.
It's a layup, bro. It's a layup. Like, why if the teams are closing off the half spaces for Maddison, try and use the fullbacks to stretch teams. Buy better attackers in the summer. Don't advocate for Timo Werner. Don't tell us Odegaard is the player that he's the one we identified. He's the one that we tracked all summer, and then you're starting Brennan Johnson in North London derby. We've already established this guy. He started 3 out of 4 matches. He stunk in every single start. The one time he's looked decent was when he came off the bench against tired legs. So why change it? Do you get what I'm saying? Pedro Porro, how many times do we see him? Like, this guy's he's very good going forward. Good passer, good ball striker, good crosser. Yet we're seeing him playing this number 10 position. We're seeing Brennan Johnson die because he can't get past Timber. And you're literally giving him no support, no help, no overlap, no nothing, bro. It's not good, man. It's not good.
I think he's got to be careful, Ange. I think he's a few bad results away from, bro. Like, you might need to get the sack. He's honestly got to be careful.
Yeah, big up Sam as well in the comments as well. So this comment is actually telling. He says, "I'll say what nobody else wants to say. Ange is as stubborn as Mourinho. Exception is that Mourinho isn't park the bus or confrontational moaner, which is why he isn't getting." You know what?
It's true.
He's very stubborn.
He's a nice guy, mate. He says he's the type of guy that people like him. They like him, but he's stubborn, bordering on arrogant, and it's going to set your club back.
Forget about setting the club back. Well, that's important. But he's gonna set himself back by virtue of setting the club back, because it's like you're just erode. You're trying. You if you're not careful, you're going to override all the positives that he brings. You're going to get to a point now where no one is talking about the fact that Spurs are dominating the ball. Spurs are pinning teams high. Spurs are, on the surface, in my opinion, I think we're defending a little bit better on the set pieces and in transitions. Nobody's going to talk about that. All people are going to talk about is teams are setting up in a way to beat you. You're letting them set up in that way to beat you. You're doing nothing to change the outcome of the game, apart from changing personnel and putting them in the same place. If that continues, it's going to get to a situation where his job may actually become untenable, because he's not done anything to justify like total security in his job.
Yet he's London Manager of the Year, right?
That was a joke.
Mania. Yeah. London Manager of the Year after 2 good months. Yeah.
Stupid. I didn't subscribe to that BS, but
but if there's one thing, if there's one positive to come out of this, is that now I think surely we've put this stuff to bed now. About, oh yeah, man, I couldn't believe what we've confirmed that the media loves Spurs. We've confirmed that, because some of the stuff I saw in the lead up to this was ridiculous. Absolutely. I'm just happy now that we've just shut them up. We've gotten our win, and we're going to go towards challenging for the title. And we can do what they need to do.
Okay, yeah, you talk about that as well. So what's next for you guys then? Because obviously Man City next week. To be honest, it will be good to try and get you on my channel next Monday. Well, hopefully we can make that thing.
Or what? In case we lose or something?
No. Just to talk Man City next week. I think Aston Villa dub, us away dub. 2 tough fixtures. Man City next week. With Rice will be back. Odegaard won't be back. What are you expecting in that game? Are you expecting a similar approach, or?
To be honest, I am. The thing is, I personally think we need to go to Man City looking to win. I think people are going to say, oh, it's important that we don't get beat. No, I think it's of the utmost importance we go there and win. No, Odegaard at Man City is a big blow, but I think we've got enough quality in our team to go to Man City and get a result. Our defense always gives us a good chance in any game, especially away from home, where that's the strength. So I think Atalanta will be a tough game. I'd love to tell you, oh yeah, we're going to go there and win, but they're a tough team. I know they've had a shaky start to the season, and they lost their best midfielder to Juve. But it's tough. Lookman's back in the team, scored a great goal the weekend. Gasperini, he knows how to set up his team against big teams, and our European away record is trash. I can see us going there, getting a draw. Wouldn't be mad at that. I'd love a win, but it's City we need to win. And hopefully Saka's, because I'm seeing that Saka's injured.
Or no, it was cramp. It was cramp. I think he'll be.
Well, but we need to go to City and win. Like, go there and win.
I hear that, and then broadly on the season as well, expectation, right? Because I want to hold you to this expectation. So what are you guys winning? Put your balls on the line now. What are you winning?
What are we winning?
This season.
You're talking the big cups, innit?
I'm talking just anything. I'm not one of these people that are like, oh yeah.
There's a lot of cans. There's a lot of cans, but I'm not like.
No, don't do cans, because we're gonna do the same for Tottenham as well, right?
Because like I can't do a can because Man City, I can't hear say to you, oh yeah, Arsenal will win the league when I see Man City.
That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking. It's not just that, right? In this season, you have the Premier League, the Champions League, the League Cup, and the FA Cup that you can compete for. So there's 4 honors that you're essentially competing for, right? If I look at it now, the period that you're in, a 3rd season on the trot where it looks like you're ready to really assault for a title. You've got a squad that's probably 2nd best in the Prem and one of the best in Europe. you should be looking to pick up some silverware to actually rubber stamp your
Yeah,
supposed
100%.
quality right now, because that's just the way it is. That's the expectation you'd put on any side that's in the same groove you're in. So what trophy are you going to pick up this season?
I think Champions League is a possibility. Champions League and the Premier League. I think we could pick up either of those. That's the
FA
thing.
Cup, League Cup now?
Yeah, we can. Those, like FA Cup, definitely, and Carabao Cup. Yeah, I'd like a Carabao Cup actually, but then it depends on Carabao Cup. It depends on what type of team Arteta plays. Is he going to take it seriously? FA Cup, FA Cup again. Is he going to take it seriously and actually play a strong team?
He has
Or
to. He has to win. He has to. He has to not let the moment pass whereby your dominance isn't memorialized, right? You
yeah,
have to. There has to be something tangible, in my opinion, to to basically show proof of this success that you're having, this relative success that you're having.
yeah. I think and I think he will. That's the thing, though. But like, why? We've got players signed up till what? Most of our big players are signed up till 2027. He signed a contract till 2027. Of course, we're competing. We're competing for all of the cups this season, but it's not a given that we win them. And the thing is, why does it? You must pick up a trophy this season, bro. We're up against Man City. We can beat them. We can pip them, but like it's a long season. My thing is, people want to look down on, oh yeah, this process is not yielded a trophy. It's like, bro, like it's if it's so simple, go do it. Then it's not that. It's not as simple as, okay, cool, you're improving season on season, therefore it equals trophy. It doesn't work that way. You're up against Man City. This is a team. This is a well-run team. I said it in my video like maybe last week, and I'll say it again. What makes City so good? They've got the right setup, they got the right players, and they got the right manager. You need all three in any organization to be successful. Arsenal right now, I believe we've got the right manager. We're now getting the right players, and we've got the right setup in terms of the club. We're gearing towards what Man City are doing. Now, does that mean we're going to pick up a cup this season, like one of those? FA Cup and Carabao, definitely, yeah. Probably one of the the Champions League or CL.
I think you should.
Could.
Okay. I think
we should.
I get your point. Go on.
But like, for what if all I'm saying is, if we don't pick it up this season, we will. What I'm saying is, we will pick it up. I just can't say what season it's going to happen within each, but we will pick it up.
100%. And I think that's the latter part. That latter part is what I'm angling at. I'm not necessarily one of these people who will stone Arsenal. I'll make my jokes, but I won't stone Arsenal for not winning. But it's more a case of you have to win something. And I think for this amount of quality in your side, like for me, I think you have to capitalize, and it should be, pick up your FA Cups and League Cups. Try and pick up a Premier League, try and pick up a Champions League as well. Like the way Liverpool did it, I know people try to clown Cup, but you Klopp sometimes, but you can't, because they picked up a Prem, they picked up a Champions League, they picked up multiple League Cups, they picked up an FA Cup. So like they've memorialized like their period of dominance. Of course, they're no longer in that moment now. So.
Spread out, bro. Like it's spread out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you've had 2 seasons prior. Now you're in your 3rd season. To your point, you're saying, yes, you don't know when it's going to happen, but it will happen. So I'll take your word on that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it needs to happen to memorialize the level that you're playing at right now. That's all.
If you were to signpost me to a trophy that I think we can win it. Like City are the favorites, but like Premier League, I think we can nab that. I genuinely think we can nab that. I think we can nab that.
Okay. Before I go on to super chats as well, I want to ask one last question, because one thing for me that I get a reputation for unnecessarily going at him, and I try not to make it a forefront of my criticism, but when you look at Tottenham as a club, and we're talking about ambitions to win, you look at the money that we spent a heck of a lot of money over the last couple of years, rightly so, to regenerate our squad. We've sold a couple of players. I think our net spend this summer was like 65 million. We spent, I think, like 145 in total. But we've spoken about the young players we've signed. With Spurs, Ange Postecoglou obviously wants to win a trophy. Do you honestly believe that Spurs can win silverware under Ange Postecoglou? And do you believe that Spurs have the ownership to really win trophies? Because I don't think we have. I don't rate the way Daniel Levy goes about building or setting up a manager to have a squad built to win. I think we have a squad built to be at its maximum capacity, competitive. And by competitive, I mean top four. Maybe you go far in a cup competition. But I don't think we ever go into a season where this guy, despite the money that we spent because of the new stadium, I don't think we ever go into a season where the club can truly say we've done all we can to give this manager enough to really compete. Now, that's not to let Ange Postecoglou off the hook, but I'm just saying it's a continual trend with this ownership under a multitude of managers. So I just want to get your viewpoint on one. Do you believe that Ange Postecoglou can win silverware at the club? And two, do you believe that Tottenham will end their silverware drought under this ownership?
So first question, yes, you can with him. You can definitely pick up a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup. Maybe even cheeky Europe. You never know. Those you could pick up. Now, second question is easy. No, you don't. You're not ambitious enough. You don't want it. You don't want it. When you have the right manager, you don't invest. When you have the wrong manager, you do invest in dross. It's weird. So no. Just yeah.
I would say that he's the right manager now in terms of the personality. Like
he is.
The drive to win and the pride that he has to actually manage our club. But I also think he doesn't I think his arrogance doesn't actually let him sometimes recognize that, this is the biggest job you've ever had. Like, it's not like managing in other leagues, but at the same time,
it's not Australian rules or whatever. Man said I picked up something in my second season. This is not the Scottish Premier League, bro. This is the Premier League. You can't be making those statements when you got Man United, not Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal. You can't be making these statements in this league.
Facts, fully agree. But I also think
we look at win a Carabao Cup, surely. Come on.
I would hope so, but honestly, I'm just looking at it now. I'm just thinking the way we make it so easy to play us. Who's to say that we buck you again or so on in the final if we make it to the final and they're like, we know how they're going to play. We'll just set up just to counteract their main threats, and that's how we win the game of football. And we have Ange who's unwilling to change at such a large scale. But I don't want to keep it too much on Ange there because we've spoken about his stubbornness. But I just feel like on your point on Daniel Levy, I think the statement you made there is so appropriate. And on the right manager, we don't spend enough, or better yet, we won't spend on the right players. And on the wrong manager, we give them money. And I think Ange, for me, is somewhere in the middle. I think he's the right man. I think that he's the right manager in terms of his character, the brand of football, the entertaining brand of football, and just like his eagerness to actually win. And I don't think he disrespects our club. But I also think that he's flawed because sometimes he puts faith in players who are just not good enough. And I think that his unwillingness to change, even in the face of something that isn't working, is alarming. But I think above all of this, I have to look at the powers that be. I mean, you said it yourself. 40 million on Archie Gray, 30 million on Odegaard, 9 million on Bergville. Yeah, sure, these players, they could be really good players for us in 2 years' time. But in 2 years' time, if these guys are potentially good players for us, what will we do again? We'll spend another 90 million on the next Bergville, Gray, etc., instead of saying, in 2 years' time, if these guys are good players in 2 years' time, rather than getting more 19-year-olds, which is fine, you can always sign kids, let's get a 19-year-old plus let's get the ready-made 23, 24-year-old top signing to go to accompany these players.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
my issue.
These signings that it's not that they're not highly rated youngsters. It's that these should be add-ons. These should not
Exactly.
be the linchpins of your process. These should be guys that like you look at what Real Madrid have done so well. They stockpile on young talents, but these young talents have been integrated into an already good team, built team, right? It's even what Man City do. Like you see with Man City how they develop their young players, but it's there's a nucleus of experience. There's a nucleus of your linchpins, your match winners, and I think it's something that I'm seeing we're starting to do. Like and I think that's what Spurs need. Like for us, when was this? Yeah, people can clown Arteta for some of his signings, but like for the transfer window, but I kept saying it to people. Arsenal, we're not at that stage now where we need to go out and buy 5 or 6 players. We're not. The team has quality. What we need to be doing is add just small little additions and tweaks here and there. You're at a point where you need to buy a lot of quality players. You're not at a point where you can be spending 30 M's on an Archie Gray, a guy that's going to probably ride your bench. You can't spend that type of money on a player like that.
Yeah. Why are people saying open up your super chats? My super chats are open. I don't know why people are saying it's not open. It's definitely open. I'll double check it for now. No, I fully agree. I fully agree. And I've got no issues with Archie Gray. A lot of people have spoken about his talent, but it's like an Archie Gray should have been supplemented by a starting caliber midfielder. You look at the wingers. You saw the issues last year, and are you really telling me that the solution was another season of Werner and a 19-year-old good talent?
Believe you guys kept him.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'll go through the super chats now.
Is that Levy or Ange? Which I can't tell. Like who is actually saying I want these players?
I think it's both. I think the deal stinks. I think the deal stinks of Daniel Levy, but I think ultimately Ange,
he can say no though, right?
What we told, he can say no. He can say no. Like I genuinely would rather have a young G taking up the squad space than him. And I said this in the summer, and I got pelters from a couple of Spurs fans. But let me just go through. It says, why are people saying no options for super chat? I didn't turn off the super chats. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. Yeah, I actually don't know why it's doing that, because there are some super chats here. Okay. If I go through the super chats anyway, so big up Zephyrash. He says the fact that this show isn't called Sibling Rivalry is so boring and bland. What the hell? Bland. Oh shit. LFC Badder, he says you can't replace K 100%, but you needed Tony. I don't think we needed Tony when we need Tony when we've got Solanke. Solanke's
it's good.
Listen, I'm not 100% sure on his goal scoring prowess, but my expectation is he should be scoring.
How old is he?
He's 27. 27. Yeah, he just recently turned 27. He should be scoring goals for Tottenham. Yeah, he should be scoring goals for Tottenham, especially coming off the back of his strongest season. So, Taylor says, from an Arsenal supporter, big up you, Tobs. Do you think Spurs could find more success in playing less football and focusing more on transition?
Yes.
I think there needs to be a balance, because we bear in mind we've come from a system where it was all transition, right? I think we need a manager who should be able to mix, right? Predominantly, I want Tottenham to be on the front foot in the majority of the games we play, right? But I also want us to not have to ticky-tack everything. Sometimes just length the shot. Sometimes be more direct. Try and play those probing passes in between the lines. Try and get your wingers 1v1. And those wingers, try and cook your players. Simple. Well, I say simple. It's not that simple, but yeah. Good question, though. So this was a comment. Checkmate says, this isn't a Ten Hag situation where the football's a train wreck. Ange Ball, I can see patterns of playing a nice style of football. The play is just not good enough. Do you agree with this? Because I think it's both.
Yeah, it's a bit of both. So the players aren't good enough, and you can see patterns.
When you say the players aren't good enough, the players aren't good enough in the attack, in the midfield, defense.
I think collectively for the type of football he wants to play, his players aren't good enough. So it's weird. I can't pinpoint it. Like I said, individually, you've got a good defense. That's clear, right? You've got a good defense. Now, offensively, actually, yeah, probably offensively. Yeah, that is probably the weakness. Offensively, you ain't got it. It's like that
Stinks, bro.
Teofimo Lopez. Do I still got it? Nah, you ain't got it at all. Probably only
Stinks.
Solanke and Son can do the bit. That yeah, it's terrible. And you need a more you need more players that can produce beyond Madison. You need that. Kulusevski doesn't. His output is not. It's yeah. In fact, it's your attack.
Yeah, of course. Me and a couple of my friends said this in the summer. Spurs. The thing is, the weight on Madison's shoulders. Sometimes we need more players like Madison. We need more lock pickers because everyone else in the attack is just too. You've got road runners. You've got Son, who's a bagsman but doesn't really offer much else in open play, and then you've got Solanke, who looks good, yet to score, only played twice, but I mean, Solanke is a good striker. He's not an Isak. He's not a Haaland, right? Like he's not just gonna put this team on his back the way Harry Kane did. Like we need more. Absolutely, we need more. I know you need to go to, so let me just go through the super chat. So Go to Nelly says W Tosin, don't know what that means, but thank you for the super chat. Taylor says the contrast in micromanaging mid-game between Arteta and Ange is interesting. Maybe it's trivial, but surely Ange sees things that he wants to tweak mid-game.
Is it micromanaging or is it just a manager who's hands-on? You know?
I think it's a manager who's constantly thinking about new ways to win versus a manager who just doesn't want to change and thinks that his way is eventually gonna bear fruit.
Yeah, my man thinks this is FM where you have your preset team, you just and just play it. Like this is not Football Manager, bro. Like you got to adapt to the game state.
100%. 100%. Big up Vibe as well. He says, nice to see you two. Do Arsenal fans need to show more trust in the team? Understand the heartbreaks of the past, but the fans were shitting till Saturday.
Absolutely. They need to show more trust in the team and in the manager. Like, if anything, I was happy about the win to shut up Arsenal fans. Like, so much panicking. Like, it's almost like, oh yeah, no Rice, no Odegaard, and all of a sudden, like that means Saliba's redundant. That means Gabriel's redundant. Ben White, Raya, Timber. It's like, come on. So absolutely, they need to show more trust in the team because you can't celebrate W's when we win, and then when there's a bit of adversity, oh, I saw too many. If this happens, season's done. I saw too many seasons done conversation, which I thought was just ludicrous. Even now, beating Spurs, the season's not done. Like this means nothing. Like we still, like even let's say worst case scenario, we still go to Man City and somehow we lose. The season's not done. There's still so much left of football left to play. As good as Man City are, they will drop points, right? So yeah, I just think fans just need to relax, keep calm, and just take it one game at a time.
Fair enough.
Draw too many conclusions.
Respect it. And I actually agree, to be honest. I agree. Mr. Waggle, big up Ziggy. This is our driver from New York. Big up Ziggy. He says it's like God made whole Arsenal and Spurs more spicy by giving birth to these two guys. These two clubs so irrelevant. Even God getting this guy's a donut, man. Big up Ziggy anyway, man. Big up Ziggy. People, we're gonna end the stream now. Make sure you smash the like button again, and most importantly, make sure you subscribe to Tosin's channel, Fleet Footed. I put out a recent video yesterday covering North London Derby, his review. Go check that out. As I said, the link to his channel is in the title. Literally just click and hit the subscribe button or just click the link in the description. For those who are still rocking with me, or for those who aren't rocking with me, sorry, just make sure you subscribe to my channel. On the road to 20K, so any help there would be greatly appreciated. Let me actually pin. Yeah, that's right. I'll pin your channel in the comments now. 1 second. Thank you for hopping on, man. I appreciate it. I'm hoping that this will be the first of many. I know you
lost, but yeah. Actually, no, I would have if we lost, but yeah.
What's that?
Said maybe I wouldn't have if we lost, but I was confident we wouldn't lose, so I said yes.
So if we had lost, you wouldn't have come on?
No, I would have come on. If you had won, I would have still come on. Yeah. That's still, bro, like, even with you, we're 4 games in. A lot can happen in the season. Like, Antonio Conte, when he signed for Spurs, Chelsea, he was terrible his first 5 games. Did a tweak, destroyed the league. Like,
I'm not giving up hope. I'm not giving up hope on Ange. I just don't really rate the business we've done. And I think the business we've done caps us at what we can do this season. Genuinely, I think the business that we've done this season, I think it caps what we can do this season in the league. But like you said, I want us to try and really make an assault in the cup competitions. And I think, barring a drastic slide in results and fortunes in the league, I think the cup is, for me, where Ange can really, really make a name for himself this season. So yeah,
he's got to.
People, I've pinned the link to his channel in my comments now. So literally just click that link and subscribe to his channel now. Please get him up to 2K as quickly as possible, and get him up to 5K or 10K as quickly as possible. And let us know your comments as well, or your thoughts, on how the show went today.
Are you doing
let us know.
What's that? Doing a vid for the Champions League?
Nah, we're not in the Champions League.
Huh?
Yeah. We're not in the Champions League. So,
okay. I was just checking.
So yeah, people, thank you for joining, and yeah, look out for us next week as well. We'll be back. So bless up, take care, and yeah, peace.
Take care, guys. See you.